have a second term at the helm of the ANC. Are you assuming that's correct?
Well, that will depend on the ANC. I think the ANC is working on that. As you have, I'm sure, heard that, as usual, when we prepare for a conference, the branches of the ANC are given an opportunity to discuss policy, to discuss every other issue, including the leadership, their preferences, which ends up in nominations, which they are busy doing now. That nomination will then end up with them saying we nominate so and so for this position and that position, particularly the top 6 and then the additional members of the National Executive Committee. That is going to be decided by the ANC. We don't have a system where we campaign as individuals. The ANC discusses whether and put their preferences democratically. It is once that is done where then, as an individual, you are then expected to say, I accept the nomination or you don't. And historically, ever since I've been in the ANC, I've never said I can't take a task if the ANC decides to give me a task.
And commenting on your time as president so far, it seems that the big sore in this country that hasn't been properly addressed is inequality. Do you accept that's fair?
I don't think we could discuss, we could address the inequalities in South Africa in 18 years. An inequality that has been created for decades and decades. I think we've made very huge progress to address those kind of problems. I've often said there is no country in the continent of Africa that made the progress that South Africa has made in 18 years to address that issue. Is an issue we have coined it as triple challenge: inequality, poverty, and unemployment. And these are the issues we are tackling. In whatever we do, we address these issues very specifically. Whatever economic policies we have come up with is an attempt to address those issues. So those are ongoing issues that we are tackling, and you can see the difference and the progress we are making.
Many people are now saying that change needs to be different. It needs to be more radical. There needs to be consideration of policies like nationalisation to address the structural problems of the economy. Do you agree with that?
No, nationalisation is not the ANC policy right now. Our policy is a mixed economy. That's what we have been pushing. Yes, there has been a talk about nationalisation because the ANC Youth League, that's about 2 years ago or so, raised the issue, and they felt maybe that should be the solution. And in the ANC, we have a system. You don't just declare policy. We have a system where we deal with policy in a particular way. So once they raised the issue, that then was subjected to the processes of the ANC, which ended up in the National General Council of the ANC, where the matter was discussed, and it was restated what our policy is. But nevertheless, because the Youth League was very keen on this issue, we then said, let us do some work. We had a small committee that then made a research on this one. And that committee reported on the ANC national policy, which we had some few months ago. And we still remained with our policy of mixed economy, not nationalisation.
But you think that there does need to be more radical policies to get... Of
course, that is true. In the National Policy Conference, we said we needed radical shift in terms of the manner in which we are doing our economic kind of policies and programs. And that is what this conference is going to be dealing with. We actually said we need the second phase in the transition that we are dealing with of to change our country. We need the second phase. In other words, we need policies that are going to be more robust in terms of addressing the issues of the economy. And I think we've begun to do so already. We have a massive infrastructure program that actually says we are dealing with the infrastructure differently than how we dealt with it in the last 18 years.
Right. And so you're confident you're the man to bring this forward for another 6 years?
Of course, I've been given by the ANC the task to lead that kind of job. Not only one man, it's a collective. But I'm being given the leadership to lead the collective, and that's what we are doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.